Chandra, we have all of the Illini football season right here.
Woo! We sure do. I can't wait.
And I got a scrimmage. What's the deal on scrimmage? Anybody can go tonight?
Yeah, scrimmage is tonight, 7 o'clock. It's free parking. The burrito truck's going to be there. But what a great opportunity to see the scrimmage tonight.
And Coach B joins us. We've got a little catching up to do here on the start of another season before you guys take on Toledo next week. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I hope you've had a good summer.
6 p.m., is the scrimmage.
6 p.m. tonight? Yeah. Okay. Hope you've had a good summer.
I've had a great summer, but I got some information there. Like, the scrimmage is definitely not open to anybody.
It's not.
All right, sorry. So everybody who we invited, you're uninvited.
Yeah, right. There's no scrimmage. That's never been, so I don't know where that started. But
it's official.
We've had a good couple of weeks. We just finished practice number 12, and I'm really excited about this group. We got a big one tonight. Tonight's a big scrimmage under the lights. We're doing a mock game, so it's a little bit of everything from the locker room to the field. I got a bunch of new coaches. We'll be on our headsets, so it's going to be everything but the crowd. So it's an exciting day here in Philly.
Yeah, and if you're not a football nut, it's a rehearsal. It's a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And you're getting almost close to opening night here. So I'm trying to bring the Broadway folks in as well,
Coach. A week away.
So you understand what this means when, a team has one of the last scrimmages. So listen, I'm pumped for it. I got a couple of football questions for you, but obviously I'm questioning my role this year. Last week you had me as a tackling dummy and working on pooch punting.
Oh, jeez.
I want to see if we can expand that this year. How deep is the roster for the Gatorade guys and the water bottle guys?
It's unfortunately a little bit deep. We've selected our team for this fall. We've had tryouts and selected our crew, but it's a 120-man roster right now. For us, one of the neat things for us and going into year 3, I think just our roster overall is much deeper. Really like this group that we have. Had to actually, make this roster a little slimmer. We've had to remove some guys going back last spring. Have continued to recruit guys. So overall, very excited about where we're at, but more excited about where we can go.
Well, you've obviously skipped the big news. I've just got this note and I appreciate it. I am man number 121 on the Illini football roster for this year.
Well, I would love to do that, but we are Title IX compliant at 120, and we cannot have another male on our team. So,
well, a lot of people
don't realize that. When back in the day, it actually I laugh all the time. I sound like one of those old coaches. There was really a roster transformation in the early 90s that there was rosters of football teams that were 150, 200 players, and then when Title IX became full effect, and you had to have an equal number of players and for male and female sports, that's probably what limits the rosters more than anything. And it's good. I think everybody, I would say most of the college football teams across the country are in that 120 ballpark.
A lot of coaches trying to be nice to tell me I'm not on the team.
I know. It's only one way to say it.
Let me give you some actual football questions here. Your defensive coordinator was just stellar, Ryan Walters. He's now the head coach at Purdue. I know you like to see guys in your program succeed. Now he's going to be a rival coach. But I think it's cool who you replaced him with. Tell folks who that is.
Yeah, Aaron Henry's been a guy that he's actually been with me the whole time here at Illinois, but truth be told, I met him when he was 16 years old on a practice field in Immokalee, Florida. Watched him work out, do some drills, and I told his high school coach, I walked up during a water break, I said, "Who's that?" And he told me that's Aaron Henry. He's a free safety corner that's a good punt return. And I said, well, tell him he's got a scholarship for me to come play football for me, and that was when I was at Wisconsin. And then eventually he chose us over Florida, a bunch of other great schools, and came and was an All-American, academic, All-Big Ten player, really successful. Had a cup of coffee in the NFL, but then he started his coaching journey and has coached with me a couple times. But now to bring him full circle as our D coordinator has been truly an awesome. And he's very excited about that. But I also like to always talk about family. He just gave birth to, well, he didn't. His wife gave birth to two baby girls. He had a couple twins delivered literally a week or two before we started. So
wow,
that's awesome.
That's excellent. Speaking of family, how are your girls?
They're good. We started classes this week. Because we had a scrimmage, I've let my coaches come in a little later, so I got to wake them up this morning, and they went crazy when I came in the bedroom early at 6:30 this morning. They didn't expect to see me, so
that's great.
I'm usually out the door before 5, so it was kind of funny to see their reactions. And then my youngest, he's in class with two other girls that are coaches of mine in the building here. So it's kind of a family affair for them at school now as well.
And how old are the girls now?
My oldest is 6, going on 26, and my youngest is 4, going on 24. So
that's awesome.
Now, what do you look like in Barbie clothes? Because it's been the summer of Barbie.
Yeah.
Did they find something pink for you?
So no Barbie, but I will admit that my oldest, when she turned 6 on July 8th, she got just an intense amount of the beginning beauty things, nail polishes, makeup.
That's so. Let's see, a little girl.
That night, I've never had blush on. I had blush. I had eyes.
Yes.
Eyewear. I was cringing. I was hoping we weren't going to get the nail polish out. Thankfully, it didn't happen. So, but it's been a new summer for me. I promise you.
I can tell you right now that if any of those pictures end up on the internet, Coach will have you all killed. All right, back to football. You got a kicker with a big leg. You got a punter from Australia. Your special team solid?
I am. I'm excited. Obviously, Caleb Griffin has been a guy, all Big Ten returning kicker for us. We actually have a young man, David Alano from Naperville, who has really come in and an intense kicking battle with Caleb and David for sure. And then Hugh Roberson has had a really good fall camp, picked off where he was from a year ago, allowing Caleb actually to punt a little bit, try to win that job so that he could be our kicker and punter. But a lot of really good competition, and Isaiah Williams returns as a return specialist. We also have some new young talent in the room that I think could bring our return game to a different level as well.
We're going to have a couple of losses, obviously, Tommy DeVito, but great fill with Luke Altmaier. But the Brown twins, too, I mean, that'll absolutely be a loss. But you have great other guys stepping in, Coach, to try to fill the shoes.
We are, Andrea. I think the thing that, when you lose great players, obviously, that happens. We always say in our program, seniors graduate, but tradition never does, right? So one thing that we talk about is the standard has been set. At the quarterback position, Tommy's now got some really good things going in the NFL, but Luke, we also have a young man by the name of John Paddock, another guy, Donovan Leary. There's probably a more intense battle at the quarterback position than I've ever had during my time here. I feel really good about the depth in that room. Chase and Sidney Brown at running back and safety were two really good players that are doing some great things in the NFL, but we got about a half a dozen running backs that are trying to do that. We got a group of guys trying to fill the safety role. So you don't replace guys like that, but you need to replace their production, and that's what we'll do.
And Josh Kreutz is your center. Who knew centers had bloodline ties? His dad was pretty good. So we like that up front. Isaiah Williams, tremendous receiver. I know you got some good, you're building out that receiver core, which is going to be great. Great defensive line, great linebacker crew, some holes to fill in the secondary. But, I mean, overall, this looks like a really solid team. And I'll be honest with you, Coach, I like the fact a lot of these rating agencies are underrating you guys.
Well, Steve, I think better for us, we have a lot of good returning players. We have guys really literally at all positions that come back that have played good winning football for us. But I think for us at Illinois, we always play better when we got a little chip on our shoulder, and if not one, hopefully two on both shoulders is even better. So I like the attitude that our guys have. They are getting a lot of recognition, and I think we have multiple guys. Some of them repeat, but I think 15 guys up for national awards in college football. That's literally nothing that's been done here in a long time. It reminds me of my time when we were really rolling in a couple other spots I've been at. So I like where we're at, but obviously there's no stat, there's no touchdown, no tackle, no kick that carries from last year into 2023. So our guys have been pretty firm in that they want to establish goals and identity off of what they know for this year and leave last year behind us. And I think they'll be able to go out and accomplish a few things.
Got a great season. More teams in the Big Ten now. September 2nd, opening night. Give us a preview of the Toledo Rockets.
Toledo is the defending MAC champions. Coach Candle has been there several years. This is probably his best. I've heard him say it now several times. This is his best football team that he's had in his tenure there, and they've been really good every year he's been there. So open up with a tremendous challenge. They're ranked by some publications across the country and in top 25 rankings that we're not. So obviously a team that a lot of people think really highly of. Kind of an interesting story. One of our best players, Johnny Newton, is a defensive lineman. His brother is up on the Blitnikoff for one of the best top wide receivers in college football. He plays for Toledo, so we'll have a little brotherly love matchup that'll be interesting. But we treat Toledo as like they're a Big Ten football team, right? They're a team that if they were in our conference would be competing for championships every year as well. So a very, very talented team, and then have the opportunity after that to go on the road on a short week and play a Friday night game against Kansas, who probably has their best team in the last 20 years. Their offensive quarterback is literally picked as the preseason offensive Big Ten player of the conference. So we got some tremendous challenges, and of course return against Penn State. So we've got some interesting and tough matchups right out of the gate, and one that our guys will be ready for.
Going to be great. And get your tickets, see them live, the Fighting Illini, and hear them here every game on your Illini flagship, the Big 89 WLS. Let's do more of this, Coach, because you and I are old enough to remember a time when the Big Ten only had 10 teams.
It was crazy to hear the news, right? Obviously the addition of US and UCLA next year, but now that joined with Washington and Oregon. So really exciting time, coast to coast, but we're focusing on 23 right now. We'll get to 24 when we get to 24. Yeah. So excited about that. I appreciate you guys' time. Have a great couple weeks here. We got about 2-week window before our first game, and excited to get there.
Right, and we're looking at you on video. You got a little blush on your cheek there. Just giving you a heads up before you go out.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon, Coach.
Be well.
Steve's coming to a game with us this year.
Absolutely, more than one.
Yeah.
You should never have something that large in makeup.
Meaning you or
Bret? Oh no, I like great makeup. I love how crazy he is about his kids.
Oh, he's the best.
And just hearing him talk about it makes me laugh. So it's great. Because, the 6-year-old runs the house. You can see the 6-year-old going, Daddy, hold still and put makeup on you.
I'm thinking the 4-year-old runs the house.
Well, maybe, but he's not doing that for anybody else.
Yeah.